Alrighty, what is up everyone? I have yet another video for you all discussing why barbell squats or squats in general are so important and why you need them in your training routine. So I'm going to go into a few points and we'll discuss all the important details as I go along. All right, so point number one is that squats are very practical for your life. You're probably going to sit and stand a lot more, and the ability to sit and stand efficiently gets a little bit more difficult as you age. So avoid losing that ability by practicing mastering squats. Okay, so not to mention that it is practical, but they also work a ton of key muscles like your quads, glutes, hamstrings, calves, and even your core. Point number two is that the squat indirectly trains your core, which includes your low back. So when you're doing a squat, you are bracing the pillar, which is the area between your shoulders and your hips. And that includes very important muscles when it comes to core training, like your deep spinal stabilizers, your deep core muscles, your obliques. Not to mention, it also works things like your hip extension muscles or hip extensor muscles, which have very important functions when it comes to the core. So core with the squat is kind of closely related or very in-depth with that kind of movement. All right, so point number three is on force or power production. So when you guys hear that, I want you to think of jumping, running, sprinting, things like that. Very important things. Squats have you go in and out of knee or leg extension and flexion and hip extension and flexion, right? So those are very key components when it comes to things like jumping, running, sprinting, etc. Every 10 years after 50, in fact, we lose about 17% of our ability to produce force. So squats are a very good way to prevent that from happening. Point number four on why squats need to be in your routine is it helps improve your postural muscles. So when you're in a squat or doing a squat, you do have almost perfect posture. Your chest is upright, your shoulders are above your hips, above your feet, and obviously you're under load. So throughout the day when you're not with heavy load on your back, you should have more of an upright posture due to practicing this under higher levels of stress or load in training. So it can correlate to a better posture elsewhere, not just in the five on why squats need to be in your routine is it helps improve or increase your mobility. If you guys have ever seen a baby sit down or squat, the baby's going ass to grass all the way down. And over time, I think that we lose that ability because we stop squatting like that, or we just don't squat in general, right? Even sitting and standing as we age gets a little bit tougher if you're inactive. But squatting pretty much forces you under load to sit down and stand up and obviously keep your posture right. So if you're doing a squat properly and going as low as you reasonably can here, you're going all the way down, which involves hip and knee and ankle mobility, and then obviously all the way back up. So don't lose that ability to go all the way down, ass to grass, all the way back up, and do some squats. Okay, now point number six on why squats need to be in your routine is because squats are not only just a muscle building exercise, they are also an assessment tool. So if we see somebody doing a squat and there's some kind of compensation like the knee or the right knee is shooting in, then we know that there's a certain muscle, namely the glute, that is too weak. And by training squats, you can obviously help both of those muscles, or glutes in this case, both of those glute muscles train accordingly together or synergistically so that they're both getting up to speed. And you could do other accessory work to help one side rather than the other. But squats are not just a muscle building exercise, they're also an assessment tool to prevent injury. Okay, so point number 7, I believe we're up to now on why squats need to be in your routine is because squats can actually help you indirectly burn more fat. So obviously when it comes to fat loss, muscle tissue is active or alive tissue, and it requires energy or calories even at rest. So the muscle is constantly burning coal or calories even when you sleep. The more muscle you have on your body, the more calories it will burn. Squats are a great way to train literally half of your body or involve a whole lot of muscles in just one exercise. So squatting can have you increase your musculature or increase your strength, but both of those are avenues to getting stronger, having more muscle, and indeed burning more. All right, so point number 8, as I run out of fingers here, is squats are extremely versatile. So there are tons and tons and tons of variations of squats. You have the barbell back squat, you have the Zercher squat, you have the front squat, you have the safety bar squat, you have the overhead squat, you have the split squat. There's probably, I don't want to say thousands, but a whole lot of variations to squats. So if you can't incorporate one variation into your program, there's probably another 5 that can be in there. But squats, nonetheless, are very versatile, very movable within your program.